Hello, and a very warm welcome to everyone who has joined us on this special webinar titled AI Content Detectors Aren't Enough, Promoting Student Ownership and Reducing Faculty Stress. We are so glad that you could join us today. This session is all about rethinking how we approach AI in academic settings, not just from a detection standpoint, but from a perspective of trust, responsibility, and student empowerment. We'll be discussing real challenges, practical solutions, and promising ways by which institutions can build a healthier and a more supportive academic culture. Before we move forward, here is a very quick disclaimer. All content used in this presentation is owned or licensed by Crimson Interactive or its affiliates. Some content may be blocked for confidentiality reasons. Unauthorized use is strictly prohibited, and we sincerely appreciate your compliance regarding the same. We truly appreciate your participation, and so please do not hesitate to be a part of this conversation. You can send in your questions and thoughts anytime during the session using the questions tab on your control panel. Our experts will address as many questions as they can during the live Q&A session at the end. Now, let me quickly introduce our esteemed speakers for the day. We are joined by Dr. Krishna Kumar, aka Dr. KK, serving as the Innovation Officer at Enago and a visionary in the field. Joining him is Piyush Agarwal, Lead Product Manager at Trinka AI, with a decade of experience in building cutting edge AI powered education products. Together, they bring a unique blend of vision and practical know how to this session. And here is a quick rundown of today's agenda. We'll be covering the following topics on AI content detection and watermarking, DocuMark, institutional benefits and use cases, along with the final live demo for DocuMark with your question and answer session. And with that, I'll hand things over to Dr. KK. Dr. KK, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Parvati. That was a very quick introduction and a good day to everybody who's joining in from around the world. And I'm very excited. I'm passionate about education in general, and that's why I'm in the field of academic publishing. I have a background in, medicine and orthopedic surgery, and I'm passionate about education. But then we are all in the era of AI, and we need to know how to do things responsibly and ethically. So let me start sharing the slide and show you some interesting trends in the context of AI usage among students. Now, we are all in very much in the generative AI era, and tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, DeepSeek, Copilot, everything is available to everyone. In fact, my niece right now, who's in starting her 10th standard, is regularly using some of these chatbots for whatever purposes that she is. She's taking an AI course actually. So basically, students have all access to all sorts of AI tools, but they do not know how to use these things properly. And there are surveys that have been conducted in terms of the AI usage, and there was the 2025 student survey with approximately 1,000 undergraduate students. It revealed that approximately 92% of AI students are using AI in some form, and this is up from 66% in 2024. So you can expect it to be 100% by the next year, I would imagine. And so if you're wondering what students are using AI for, they are using it for explaining concepts, summarizing articles, and suggesting research ideas. But some 18% have stated that they're using AI content directly copy pasted from the AI, let's say a chat GPT or something, and then submitting and presenting it as their work. And some of this is because they do not know what is right and what is wrong. And obviously the reason for using AI, like we are all using it, we use it for doing things efficiently and sometimes for improving the quality of our output. Now, this is all good, but when it is done in an unregulated manner, it is not right. And from the teacher's perspective, a survey from the Walton Family Foundation highlights 71% of the teachers agree with the importance of AI students. But still, we still do not know how people are using it, and it's becoming more of a burden among teachers to sort of validate all of this. So we need clear institutional policies to guide ethical and effective use of AI. All right. So, what are some of the challenges, right? As in, we've talked about the use of AI. The main question here is AI hampering the eventual critical thinking ability and the reasoning ability of students? So, in other words, if suppose students are using AI to write, let's say, the answers and maybe essays and stuff, Are they learning the content that they're writing, right? So what are the challenges? Let's take a look at some of these challenges. So students do not clearly know how or in what manner they can use AI in an ethical and responsible way. They do not really know how, if they should disclose their AI usage. They're fearful of the repercussions of, if suppose they disclose, would they be, I mean, if they've used things responsibly, and if they disclose, they're fearful of that. And eventually, from a teacher's or the faculty point of view, it is faculty and teachers are responsible to assess whether students have learned what they have been taught, right? So that, if you're looking at a, if you're a teacher and if you're looking at what should you assess, the learning outcome assessment, the shift, there's a shift that has happened. Now you're responsible to see if the student has used AI as well. So you use AI content detection. I'll get to that later. And eventually, we still do not know if the learning outcomes are clearly transferred after as a result of the entire course. Then, apart from that, we have a problem in terms of people not knowing what guidance they are supposed to use. So there is limited faculty training, and things are happening so fast, and it is difficult to keep up with what is the right way to do it. And there are no clear institutional policies. And many institutions have some policy, but it may not be comprehensive, and there is no consistency. And we are all in the social media age. We probably watch TikTok videos and Instagram reels more than we read print newspapers. And there's a lot of, let's say, content that might be misleading regarding the use of AI. So there are, these are the problems that we have, and what are the risks associated with all of this? If a student has submitted some content as claimed to be their own written content, and if it is validated as an AI content, that's not right. So we have a problem in terms of validating whether some content is written by the student, and we have talked about the decreased critical thinking and writing skills of students. There's a problem of academic integrity as well, and all these students that we are talking about are eventually going to be involved, or many of them are eventually going to be involved in publishing academic research. And if you have been keeping up with the news, there are more research integrity issues after the advent or the common use of AI, and that's partially because of some of these things. So there is a challenge vis-a-vis academic integrity. And yesterday I had a conversation with somebody who I respect, and they were saying that this generation who has grown up using ChatGPT may have significant deficiencies in terms of critical problem solving, because they have been sort of they are used to letting AI solve some of these critical thinking problems. And in terms of assessments, the faculty also has the responsibility to do this, to check whether a content is AI generated or not. So eventually, we have some concerns. So there are a lot of assignments. Students are always going to be there. There are more courses, I suppose, in terms of, there are even AI related courses these days. So there's a lot of documents and submissions or assignments that one needs to assess. And if suppose that you put a human to check all of this, that you can consider it a resource wastage. And you never know if it is fair or not in terms of whether the outcomes of these results are fair. And as we already discussed, student outcomes, the learning outcomes, are still not assessed properly. We are just simply looking at whether a student has done the right thing. So these are some of the concerns. And one second. Yes. So with this, we are looking at, most institutions have adopted the basic policy of screening student submissions for AI content detection, but that in itself has a problem with it. But let's take a deeper look at what is AI content detection. And there's something else that is increasingly becoming common, which is AI watermarking. So let's start looking at AI content detection. So what is an AI content detector, right? So you can consider it as a tool that estimates how likely this piece of text that you're running through it is created or generated by a human or typed by a human as opposed to by a computer. So how does it work? It employs a lot of different strategies, and these are some of the research papers that I've referred to. So you tend to look for repetitive patterns in the text itself, and predictable word choices, and inconsistency or consistency in terms of the writing style. And when you put all these percentages, if there is sufficient inconsistency, if there is sufficiently non-repetitive patterns and unpredictable word choices, then it's likely to be written by a human. And when this swings the other way, it is likely to be the generated by AI. So this is the basic principle. And if you have been keeping up, AI content detectors are basically guessing the likelihood of the content being generated by AI or not. And there are concerns regarding false positive and or true negatives as well as but false positives are the more important concern in terms of the human actually writing their own manuscript in this, or rather the essay themselves, and it being incorrectly flagged as being generated by AI. So these are all some of these challenges, and it eventually leads to, if suppose students believe that they have been falsely judged as using AI in an unethical way, that obviously would be a black mark on them, and that will eventually lead to student and faculty conflicts. And these are some of the challenges. So this is one type of AI content, detection slash verification. So what is AI watermarking, right? So AI, it is a more modern way of doing it. Basically, it is like any other watermark that you can think of. But it's a digital sort of a watermark. So it's digital fingerprinting that, or any sort of phrases or text that is in a document that, when run through AI, will sort of flag it as an AI generated content. And it is done through algorithmic verification. And this is beyond, it's a deeper sort of a check. And this is probably the future in terms of detecting it. And as of last week, there were research papers on how to use AI watermarking in terms of identifying whether a peer reviewer has used AI unethically or without disclosing. So eventually, this sort of a technology will probably help us more in the evaluations of academic integrity, until we have better means to have verifiable disclosures and everything like that. So anyway, so this is what we have currently as technology. But is that enough? Is the question that we are posing, right? So what we believe, as in the entirety of the team that I represent, including Inago and Trika, we believe that teaching should have its own role, and teachers have their primary role should stick to assessing learning outcomes and imparting knowledge to bring up a well-rounded individual who has all the knowledge. And they should not be forced to police whether the students have used AI, or indulge in AI detective work. So this is what we want. The faculty should be focused on whether the student has been trained or taught properly, and not do police or AI detective work. This is our goal. And so with that, we have developed this technology that we are calling DocuMark. And this is what I'll take you through. Maybe I have a couple of slides before I hand it over to our product expert, Piyush. But let me try to explain what DocuMark is, and some use cases as well. So basically, DocuMark is a technology that lets students verify the content that they are submitting, as whether they have written it, or they used assistants to generate it, or they have copy pasted it from somewhere else. So it basically looks at content and determines whether it buckets the content into whether it has been typed or human generated, whether students have used AI content generation, or they have copy pasted from an external source, let's say Wikipedia or something like that. So it categorizes these into three buckets. And eventually, it after this categorization, it also provides a means for students to go through whatever they're submitting, each and every sentence. And if suppose, on the basis of the algorithm that we have set, or the benchmarks that we have set, the sentences that are deemed to be non-human generated, the student will be asked to verify the sentence and ensure that they have sort of understood and they own that sentence. So it basically it supports the students in terms of ensuring transparency and sort of bringing it to the front that they are responsible for the content they're submitting as part of their uh, uh, assignments or essays and things like that. And eventually, from an institutional point of view, it also lets the institution have that level of transparency in terms of whether the students are using AI responsibly. So it is a proactive way to prevent AI misuse, and this is what we are very passionate about. It sort of it makes the student more engaged with what assignments and submissions that they are submitting, and it lets them own. Just like how in academic research, authorship is a big factor. So in this case, it is bringing that sort of a responsibility to the student. So we are very passionate about it. And what are some of the benefits? It it brings awareness regarding the types of AI assistance that the student is using, and the extent of which they have used. For example, if suppose you do not have such a tool, let's say I'm the student and I'm honestly thinking that I've not abused AI, but I still do not know the numbers, right? How much of the assignment that I'm submitting is written by me, and I assume that okay, I have done fairly well. But when you have the actual numbers presented in front of them, they will be more conscious of what they've done, and within that assignment or the essay that they submitted, they will do the necessary steps to validate the content. But they'll also, for the future assignments, future learnings that they have, they'll be more aware of it. And eventually, because at least we are letting them verify these sentences, they should have better learning outcomes. They will obviously have more confidence because everything is transparent, so for the faculty to see, as in what is the proportion of the text that a student has written or has been copy pasted. So it'll be they'll be confident to sort of not have the false positives that you usually associated with AI content detection. And finally, the most important thing, the students will own their work. Just like authorship responsibilities in academic research, students will take the responsibility of their own work. So this is our goal, to the dream of letting students take ownership and to sort of move the burden of AI content, let's say policing, from the faculty. So this is what I have to say before I hand it over to my friend Piyush, who will now explain and give you a detailed demo of DocuMark itself. Over to you, Piyush.
Thank you so much, Dr. KK. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I'm Piyush Agrawal, Lead Product Manager at Trinka AI. Very happy to be interacting with all of you, and it gives me immense pleasure to demonstrate Trinka AI's DocuMark to all of you. So let me quickly share my screen and give you a detailed walkthrough of Trinka AI's DocuMark feature. I hope all of you can see my screen now. So,
Yes.
Trinka AI is an AI-powered academic and technical writing assistant. It is custom built for academic and technical writing. And you can visit www.trinka.ai to access this AI product. And everything that we have done within Trinka AI is our own proprietary technology. Some of the technology that we use within Trinka, we have patented those technology. But in this particular demo, I'll focus on Trinka's AI DocuMark, which is an academic integrity tool that helps reduce the conflict and mistrust among faculty and students and boost the academic integrity. Once you log in, you can come to my drive here. This is a place where you can organize all your file. So this is where I'm. This is the. I basically in this demo I'll be demonstrating you Trinka's AI document from two perspective. One is for the student or anybody who is doing the writing assignment, project work, or anything. And second is the evaluator, professor, faculty, staff who is evaluating that assignment. So this is Trinka Cloud Editor, and in this flow, I'll be focusing on the student flow, assuming that that user is a student and how a student is writing. And Trinka's AI DocuMark can also be integrated within the LMSs such as Canvas, Blackboard, Moodle, and so on. And also, it is available with our with our Windows native app that works on the Microsoft Word. What I'm going to demonstrate is the cloud editor version of the DocuMark. So this is how one can create a new file on Trinka AI. So let's say there is an assignment, and as a student, I'm trying to write that assignment, and that assignment is some related to AI, something. So I can, do my settings here on the platform, apply that setting, and then you can see that here DocuMark, I can enable the DocuMark. We can also provide a flow where DocuMark is automatically enabled for all your students and whoever is writing on the platform. So here, let's say I want to write, something on the AI. So this is something I have written, as you can see here. And then we also provide generative AI feature. You can write slash ask, and you can use keep writing. It will understand the context and it will generate the text. So this text is basically AI generated. So it will understand what is written so far, and based on that, it will generate the text here. As you can see, it is generating the text. So it says that from the automating the mundane tasks to providing the personalized recommendation, AI has revolutionized the way we work, and so on and so forth. So let's say as a student, I want to make some edits here. So I can make the edits. Let's say I'm going to say that the complex task to provide the personalized recommendation, AI has changed the way we work. The impact of it is not limited to any specific industry or sector. And let's say we also provide AI features where a student can, improve the fluency and uh, do a lot of other things also. So basically, I'm trying to edit the document here. Um, this is in more efficiently. The rapid advancement in technology also led to I can also use Trinka AI's grammar suggestions to edit the to make the edits here. And now I can also copy paste. So I have taken some text here already, so I'll just copy paste here. So when I'm copying pasting, it is asking that what is the source of this text? Is this AI generated text or not? So I can say that it is AI generated. Source of text is ChatGPT. Reason of this thing is adding more information. So this is my copy pasted text. Now at this point, I also want to show you the report, how the report will look like at this point, and then I'll take you how the report will evolve as I make some edits. So this is where a student can access the report. To view the report, they need to click on this report. So this report has three sections. One is the analytics section, where overall analytics is provided, that 34 words as written by human, 111 words generated by AI, and some of the text was copy pasted here. Let me just refresh this. And then you can see here that how much time did I take to for this session, and then there is a replay also to this. Uh, So whatever I'm making edits is there. I think copy paste thing did not work properly. So let me copy paste the thing again here. So more info. Yeah. So I'll try to view the report again. Yeah. Let's close this. So you can see that 6% is human generated, 20% is AI generated, and 73% of text is copy pasted. And then also there is a replay button that shows that how this text is generated. So this is for the evaluators. They can view that how this report has evolved, and there are some points that that tells you that from where the AI content is written. So you can directly click on this, and in the interest of time, I'm just skipping everything and taking you to the end. So you see at the end, you have the human generated content. You have AI generated content and the copy paste content. This is the analytics part, and this is the replay part. But so what it will give you, it will give you the insights as a evaluator that how this text is evolved. And this is much more deeper insights compared to AI content detector, because AI content detectors are faulty. As Dr. KK was mentioned, they are built on a technology which is not effective. There are a lot of false positive in that. And if you depend on, as an evaluator, if we depend on those AI content results, then there will be mistrust. For example, if a student has written everything of his or is her of her own, and AI content says that it is AI content text, then will be a mistrust and conflict. That is where our DocuMark comes into picture. It removes those mistrust, those distress, between the faculty and the student, because it gives the transparency, it gives you the in deep insight that how the text was really evolved. And these are the two parts, that analytics and the replay parts. Now we have also added a verification part. So let me give you a quick walkthrough of verification part also. So in verification, we have provided this verification part is basically the where we are encouraging students to take the ownership of the content, thus reducing the stress from the faculty. Currently what faculty is doing is that they are doing the AI content detective, but they need to focus on the learning outcome, and they need to make a student accountable for their own content. That's why this verification part we have added, so that whatever student has written, they can verify. Because as a university or as a administration, you might okay that a student uses AI, but you may not be okay that a student is using AI without understanding. So to fix those problems, we have added this verification thing, where you can see that um, what is manually verified, what is not verified, and also what against the each sentence how much edits is made, and so on and so forth. So let me quickly give you a again, let me go back to the report and tell you how it works. So far we saw that a student written something of his own. He generated some text using the AI, and also he copy pasted some text here. Now now the verification part that I'm going to show you here. So here you can click on this DocuMark tab. There the sentences that are you can see that the sentences listed below do not appear to be human generated, and therefore require verification. Why we have done this? We have done this to encourage the learning. We have done this so that you can focus on learning, and not to play AI detective. Because as a AI policy in your organization, you might be okay you might be okay that students are using AI, but you might not be okay that they use AI without understanding. So this text is AI generated, but as a student I am verifying this, meaning I am taking the full accountability of this text that I have understood. I verified that this sentence aligns with my assignment context and understood by me. So student is taking full accountability of this text. And if you side of publish this, or do something else as an organization or as an institute, you are not responsible for that, because a student has already taken the accountability of that. So this is how a student can verify the sentences. you know they can verify the sentences. Also, if you see the copy paste text here, so for copy paste text we have also provided the additional details that text is AI generated, or what was the source, what was the reason for that text. And as a student I can verify these things. You can see that I have verified these things. Now I can again view the report. So I'll directly go on the verification tab in this. So you see that out of 29 sentences, three sentences are auto verified because that are written by human. If you remember, I wrote initial sentences and they are auto verified, and seven sentences I manually verified. Out of these seven sentences, four were AI generated, and three were copy pasted, and I verified them. And you can also see that, some of them were human edited by me, and some of them were unchanged. And there are still 19 sentences which are unverified. Out of those 19 sentences, 17 are pasted and 2 are AI generated. Then as a evaluator, you can, decide whether you want to send this back to students so that they can, verify them, meaning they can take the accountability, they can, focus on the learning outcome, and you both together can reduce the trust issues. So you can decide based on, your organization policy, your AI policy, your institute AI policy and guidelines. You can send it back to the student that, hey student, listen, you have not verified all the sentences, thus I believe that you have not understood, you have just copy pasted or generated through AI, so I'm not okay you doing assignment this way, thus I request you to verify everything and send me back the thing. And again, if you want to see those unverified thing, you can simply filter. So you will see that, okay, the AI generated was unverified, copy pasted was unverified, and this is copy pasted, this is unverified, and so on and so forth. And also, if you want to see the verified ones, you can also see, okay, this was AI generated, but a student put some effort and edited that. That means he has understood and also verified that, okay, this is AI generated, but a student edited using Trinka and sort of understand that thing. And this is how you can read this report. So I want to emphasize on the fact that Trinka's DocuMark, you know uh, giving you ability to make a student focus on the learning outcome. You are not doing the AI detective part. You are not, you both together are reducing the mistrust. You are using the, stress among, between you two. And also it's just like, doing the assignment before the pre chat gpt, like I mean doing the assignment in the pre chat gpt era, where there was no issue of AI content detection and generating the content to the AI, and so on. Now this was the student part. Now let's say if I some edit something more, you will see that, those things will be edited there on the report. And also, let's say if I want to, improve this content through the AI, to the help of the AI, we can do that as well. So we have a lot of features we have provided that can be used to improve this content, and so on. Now what can happen is that, this is all a student is doing, all by himself. He's checking the analytics, and he's doing the verification. And then what he can do is that, he can send the report to you. So let's me, so and then this is how reports can be shared. So I have created a professor demo account. So a report can be shared, and then password can be set for that report for the security purpose. Let me write the password properly. Okay, wait 1 second. So this is how, password can be set, and then report is shared with the professor. So I'll stop my screen for a moment because I need to switch to another account, and then I'll share my screen again. So so this is the professor account that I have set up. for this demo purpose. So here you can see that this is the DocuMark report. So this is basically as a professor or as an evaluator, you will log in here and then you will click on this tab. So all the assignments submitted by your students can be seen here. So you can see that manually verified are 32% and unverified are for 84%. But more importantly, you will be able to access the report from here, and you can verify. You can see the analytics, you can see the replay, you can see the replay like this. And then you can also go to and see the verification here, as I was discussing. And then based on your organization policy, um, based on what are your guidelines, you can decide, okay, if somebody has not verified all the sentences, you want to send those assignment back, or somebody or if this much percentage of manually verified uh, sentences are there, then only will approve the assignment. So that kind of workflow also can be set up. And then also you can see the individual sentences. So all these things are helping students and to you also to focus on the learning outcome and not doing the AI detective part, and reducing the mistrust among between both of you and overall in the system. So, and also I want to emphasize, even though I showed this demo from the Trinka cloud, uh, Trinka's DocuMark can also be integrated with the leading LMSs. Also, it is available in our desktop application, so that it can work on the Microsoft Word also. So if you are writing something on Microsoft Word, then also Trinka DocuMark will be active, and it will be trying to understand the writing process and give you an insight that can help you to focus on the learning outcome. um, so I think that is all from my side for the demo um, related to DocuMark. I'll be very happy to take your questions. Over to you, Dr. KK. Thank you.
Right. Thanks, Piyush. This is quite exhaustive, and I want to sort of revisit the benefits of DocuMark in the context of institutions. I have a couple of other slides before I open the Q&A part of this webinar. So once again, let's take a look at it. I mean, you've seen what DocuMark does. There's a lot of things that are happening at the student and the faculty level. So let's revisit students from a student point of view. I know if I'm a student, then I know what I'm doing when I'm submitting an assignment or an essay. Am I writing it? Am I copy pasting it from somewhere else? Or am I using AI assistance? And because of the verification step, I'm also, obviously this is an assumption because for the verification step, I get, I get to check a particular sentence or a chunk of text, which is already labeled because I've already labeled it as one of the three buckets. And I'm, if it is copy pasted especially, I'm reading it once more, and thus we are expecting, because you have to make a decision that they are the learning outcomes will be enforced in this context. And because all of this is recorded in the background, and what the student sees is the same as what the faculty would eventually see, and everything will be available for a report if you want at a later date. Everybody will be confident. As a student, I'll be confident that if I'm submitting an assignment, I would not be incorrectly flagged for having violated AI assistance related policies for the institution. And eventually, the most important thing, we are preparing students to be future researchers, hopefully. And from that point of view, that responsibility and ownership of their work will be enforced with this. Right. So if you think from a faculty point of view, as Piyush rightly said, before ChatGPT, the pre-ChatGPT era, a faculty or a member of the faculty or a teacher was expected to evaluate assignments and essays in terms of outcomes. Right. So with such technology, with DocuMark, we can go back to those golden days where we don't have to focus on policing or detection of work. And again, this would be an indirectly facilitate the evaluation of learning outcomes from a student point of view as well. And the success of whether a student has learned or not, we are shifting with such a technology from the AI assistance, whether yes or no, to based on student understanding. And eventually that also increases the engagement of the students, because after all, they are going through all the content. They're being more conscious about each and every sort of copy paste or AI generation that they do. And the most important thing, I think, from a practical point of view, if I'm a teacher, then I don't have the responsibility to run each and every assignment through an AI content detector without any assurance that the results are going to be accurate or not. So let's go another higher level. So if you are thinking from an institution point of view, you're obviously competing with others in terms of reputation, right? So academic integrity is a very important aspect of this. So by using technology like DocuMark, you are enabling, you're being proactive and forward thinking in terms you cannot escape AI, but how can you make sure that AI assistance is, I guess, transparent and I guess ethical. So from that point of view, by using DocuMark and integrating it into your systems, you are enabling AI literacy and awareness, consciousness regarding the use of AI within your among your students. And as an effect of the fact that students are more conscious of the learning outcomes of the assignments they're submitting, we are also expecting the academic standards, the baseline, to be shifted. And maybe you can even go back to the pre-chat GPT phrase here. The Because students will be more aware, the entire sort of baseline will be shifted back to how things were before chat GPT. So that's another thing that you can look forward to. And I'm going to the next slide. So here, you can consider DocuMark as a new lens for academic administration, I would say. As a teacher, if you're watching this, if you're listening in, this is you can consider this as AI assistance transparency. You can evaluate what students are doing at the individual student level, or at a sort of class level, or the institution level, and understand the trends of usage and risk behaviors as well. And eventually you can provide even guidance to students, groups of students, or the overall institution itself. And also faculty will have a high level understanding of how things are happening in terms of AI usage within the institution. And eventually, from a policy point of view, you can frame better policies because you would know what you're dealing with to begin with. And eventually that would probably curtail, or at least maybe reduce the number of research integrity related flags that you might have related to AI assistance. And from an institution point of view, the reliability of AI content detection will always be the thing we do not expect. As in, Piyush will agree with me that no AI content detector will be ever 100% accurate. In fact, 90% accuracy itself is quite a good thing. So that's one thing. So you don't have to rely on this. And I think that there is a question in the chat regarding how it is different from the existing AI content detectors provided by, let's say, Turnitin and everything. We'll take that question and answer it soon. And the most important thing is the shift in focus. You are now, if you have technology like DocuMark, you are looking more at learning outcomes and not at policing, as Piyush and I have said many times. And if in terms of policy enforcement and even drafting policies, you have some data to back it. So you have some quantifiable trends in your institution to back up whatever you're doing. And you can also be a leader in your circle of institutions by integrating this technology and having such high granular transparency related to how your students are using AI in terms of their assignments and submissions. And eventually it's a scalable solution, right? Even if you have more students or more classes or more courses, it doesn't matter, because it's all going to be tracked, and eventually you will still have all the insights that you need, all the details and data tracked at the back end. And there is no question of increased burden on faculty in terms of ensuring this sort of a outcome. And finally, when we're looking at the future, what we are focusing on is, again, this is sort of a repetition, but we want DocuMark to be the trendsetter in terms of ensuring AI literacy at the student level. And so it is shifting focus. I mean, from the actual content sort of creation or the essay writing process to the essay review process. It is metacognition, as a institution instructor spoke with us. She explained it brilliantly. This is actually a part of metacognition, which is also very important in the context of learning. And it DocuMark enables it, especially the verification step, and responsible use of AI. because AI is there. You cannot escape it, and you have to figure out ways to ensure that everybody uses AI responsibly. So this is definitely a step in that right direction. We are also setting up AI guardrails and also bringing in student ownership in terms of whether uh, they understand what they have just written in an essay. And you could think of other ways to evaluate that, but that could be future sort of enhancements in DocuMark itself. But at this point, for each and every sort of piece of text, maybe at the sentence level or at the paragraph level, the student will need to be responsible and own that. And eventually we are sort of making them ready for the AI future in terms of AI literacy as well. And in terms of faculty support, we have actionable analytics, and you have more data to back your decisions in terms of policy making, and obviously decrease stress and burdening in terms of you don't have to now run all these assignments and essays through the AI content detector, whose results you cannot trust anyway. So let's reimagine the role of AI in education. That's a goal of the entire team, and especially this product, the DocuMark. So from detection to guidance. So that's a basic principle you can think of. So you can integrate such tools or such features, and you enable AI literacy and transparency in student workflows. You are educating students. You're teaching students about how what is acceptable, what is permissible, what is ethical. All of this is being done by the simple sort of integration of such a product into your systems. And eventually you are aligning with the usage of AI. This is, if again, when students become researchers, they are bound to run into AI guidelines in terms of manuscript submission and everything. So you're eventually aligning that to the rest of the world. You're encouraging students to validate and verify what they have written, what they're submitting. So in promoting learning outcomes, you also get to know the the writing patterns in your student submission. So maybe there will be a group of students who maybe do not use AI at all, and that's a very interesting trend, because people who do not use AI are likely to, I guess, struggle later on. What we need is responsible use of AI. So people who excessively use AI are, doing something wrong. And I would also argue that people who are not at all using AI are also doing something wrong. So you get all sorts of data to support it. Maybe you can provide guidance and teaching and training for these groups of individuals, specific, curated for their needs. And finally, it brings transparency to the entire thing. So there'll be less conflicts. There'll be fewer conflicts between the faculty and the students, especially in terms of the trust and output of AI content detection, because that won't be a thing anymore if you have DocuMark in your system. So, if at all you have to take any message from this webinar, it is the use of technology responsibility as an enabler in terms of in terms of shifting the focus back into the actual goal of education and institutions, academic institutions, and creating a balanced sort of educational systems. And if you are curious to know more about our solutions, you are free to scan this QR code, and you can set up conversations and meetings with us, and we would love to take you through whatever we have. And we hope that you will join and implement such solutions so that you can help students. And if you're faculty, most of you are faculty anyway, so you are also decreasing your burden, but also enabling AI literacy and ownership of one's content from a student point of view. So we hope that you will scan this QR code and then enable discussions with us. And one last thing, I think Piyush, maybe you can. Oh wait, before that, so if you are a librarian, I would like you to again scan this QR code and share your voice on academic integrity and AI. It's a short survey, and I've already taken it, even though I'm not a librarian. In the sense, I wanted to test the survey, and it's a fun survey. I think that you would enjoy it. So I'd let you scan this QR code and then share your insights. I think it will take you about I think 8 to 10 minutes to do this, and I would strongly recommend that you do. And with that, there's one more slide. Maybe Piyush, you can help me do this. I'll probably stay with the QR code for another 10 seconds or so, so that people can scan. This is dead time. I know. People, please scan. And the this QR code will self-destruct in three, two, and one, which means that we have the slide. So Piyush, you can join me, but Trinka AI, as Piyush has wonderfully explained, is a privacy-first AI-powered writing assistant for academic and technical and formal writing. So we have developed it. It's a proprietary technology that we have, and our company is spread across the world. And we take pride in supporting academic research as well as institutions and students at every possible stage across the globe. And we also take our data security and privacy very seriously. And we have been awarded. I mean, we have been given awards and recognized for this. And yeah, so that brings us to the end. If Piyush, do you want to add anything to this slide that I'm showing?
Just want to say that Gartner recognizes Trinka AI as a imaginary, emerging visionary for the generative AI technology. So that's
Yeah.
you know one of the feathers in our cap. So I also want to underline that all the technologies that we have demonstrated with respect to DocuMark, we have developed in-house. It is our own proprietary technology. Along with DocuMark, Trinka also offers a lot of other value add features such as AI grammar check, paraphraser, consistency check, and a lot of academic focused reports such as technical check report, reference quality check report, journal find, plagiarism check. So it's a complete package. Even though this uh, webinar was especially for DocuMark, but if you are subscribing for DocuMark, you will also get access to all the other Trinka feature depending on the uh, implementation scope and so on. That's all from my side also, KK.
Okay, great, great. Thank you, Piyush. And that also brings us to the end of the webinar. And thank you all for taking valuable time out and joining this webinar. And I'm sure you have questions, and I'm handing the floor back to Parvati.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. KK. I must say that was a very insightful session. So, thank you so much, both Dr. KK and Piyush, for transforming our view about the role of AI in the education sector. And I'm sure everyone's minds are now buzzing with even more questions after seeing the transformative power of DocuMark firsthand. So, without further delay, let's begin our Q&A session. One of the repetitive questions and repeatedly asked question is that whether DocuMark supports other languages, especially languages like Spanish and Arabic. So,
Yeah,
Piyush, would you like to take it first?
yeah, sure, sure. Thanks for the question. And I want to say that DocuMark works in multiple languages. However, there are some, languages, those are, character based, such as Japanese and, other languages. On that, we might need to provide some special support for those language. But other languages which are, very close to English, you know, which are the way that English are written. I think for them, DocuMark will work properly. DocuMark is a language agnostic tool. However, there are some languages which are very different. For that, we need to develop the support for them. Uh, yeah.
Right. Thanks a lot, Piyush. Anything that KK would like to add?
I think I would like to say that I think Latin-based languages, DocuMark should work fine, and Spanish is
Right,
one such language, and that's what I
right,
think Piyush was also trying to say.
right. People are also asking about the success rate of this software.
So
Piyush, would you?
Trinka has been, trusted by more than 1.5 million authors, researchers, faculty member, staff across the world. We have, 100 plus institutes using Trinka across the world, and we have delivered value over the years to our users and customers. So there is a high success rate that we work with, and we currently deliver value to our clients. And if success rate is about DocuMark, then, as you see that DocuMark is uh, delivering a lot of values, and we are working with a lot of universities, doing the pilot, delivering the value to them. So yeah, so we have tremendous success rate, and um, yeah.
That's wonderful. KK, please feel free to budge in whenever you have to add
Well, all
anything.
I have to say is that everybody who we talk to is most interested in DocuMark, especially if you're from an
Right,
academic institution, because
right.
obviously AI content detection is not
Mm,
working out for all of us. And so
yeah,
everybody is interested in this. And from
yeah.
that point of view, I would say that it's a very successful product.
Right.
Yeah.
I think now is also another interesting question. So, how different is DocuMark when compared to Turnitin in terms of verifying originality?
So there are two different things. First of all,
Hmm.
DocuMark is a technology that tracks the writing process, that focuses on the learning outcome, that reduces the mistrust, that brings the transparency. It is not a technology that checks the originality of the content. However, Turnitin's authenticate report or similarity check, they are focused on checking the similarity or originality of the content by matching the author content against the published or internet-based sources. Okay, so that's
Right.
the basic difference. Basically, it's not apple to apple comparison. They are two
Right.
totally different things.
Yeah. And
Right.
one is a plagiarism check, as in Turnitin obviously is a
Yes.
plagiarism, which is
Yes.
basically you're copying somebody else's idea with or without citing the source from which you're copying. Whereas Trinka's documark would be what I would call it as a provenance, content provenance, sort of granular transparency solution, where I know how I am creating that content and bringing it into the assignment. So they're different in terms of the use case.
Right. Entirely different in terms of the approach, like you said, which is
Yeah.
wonderful. Great. Now, we also have a question from one of our registrants through the form. So, this is for KK. So, is the use of AI research assistants allowed, especially for publishable works? I think they mean in research or any other terminologies. So,
Okay, I think this person is time traveled into pre 2022. I think because the answer is yes. Yes, it is allowed. The whole idea is that if at least in 2025, as we are talking June 18th, 2025,
right.
I mean 2 months ago, the STM Association in the context of academic research published some sort of draft guidelines regarding what should be done. So the basic idea is that AI assistance is permitted for a large majority of use cases, especially if you're using things like, for example, Trinka, the writing assistant, those kind of things are fine. But even if you're using, let's say, for brainstorming, using, let's say, ChatGPT, you can use it as long as you disclose that you have done that and what model you have used and what have you exactly done with it. So that is where we are. That is where the industry or the society is. So yes, it is permitted. What if I have to take a personal call? The main crux of the matter would be that you have to own. If you're a researcher, you are owning each and every word in your submitted manuscript for a journal, right? So that is what is authorship, and academic authorship is a very critical aspect of the entire research in itself. So you are owning it. So regardless of how you have used or how you have
Mm.
arrived at this manuscript, you are owning each and every word of it, and it's your responsibility to verify each and every word or sentence. And when you translate that to a student or an academic institution, that's what DocuMark is enabling. So the
Right.
student is going through the each and every sentence or
Mm.
a chunk of text and owning that, and that's because DocuMark is providing the transparency as to how the text has been sort of has come into the document, which is basically written versus copy pasted versus AI generated. Yeah.
Right. That's wonderful. Great. So, now a question to Piyush. So, people are asking, can we use Trinka to improve AI content detection?
I'm not sure how that question is written properly.
Right.
So I think what question is that can they use Trinka AI to improve
Yes.
the content? Yes, they can use Trinka AI to improve the content. Or if the question is like if they use Trinka, will their writing be considered as AI content? So if that is the case, then it depends how you use Trinka. In
Mm.
Trinka, there are generative AI features and non-generative AI features as well. So depending on which features you are using, it will be your content will be detected as AI or not AI.
And
Right.
if I were to interpret the question as, whether Trinka AI will, or maybe DocuMark will improve AI content detection, it
Yeah.
it is evaluating a completely different thing, right? So it will,
Right.
yes, because AI content detector, let's say 95% is AI, whatever, but
Mm.
you don't know which 95%. You clearly know that is being copy pasted from ChatGPT if somebody was using the DocuMark technology. So that's what I would say.
Right.
It is enabling, it is
Right.
improving. Yeah.
Right. Wonderful. There's also one other question in the chat. The person says, I assume that students should prepare the report because since he or she was the one who was using the software should have been tracking the student's work. Is this so? I think they're just
That
confirming if
is
their understanding is right.
that is correct. That is absolutely right understanding. A student will be preparing this report. Rather, when a student is writing,
Hmm.
Trinka DocuMark will be working on background, and when a student presses the view report will be prepared, and when a
Hmm.
student shares the report, it will be shared.
Right.
Yeah, and let me add to it. I mean, again, I'm
Yes.
borrowing from a conversation that we had with a with an educator from representative of an institution. So, what I think this the person who asked the question
Hmm.
is referring to is a process tracker, like how people are doing.
Hmm.
It's like it's you can consider it surveillance. It tracks
Hmm.
clicks and keyboard typing, etc. So, DocuMark does all of that, as in because you have
Yeah.
to obviously check what content is typed, right? So that is a part of it. But most importantly, it doesn't end there. It provides that information to the students, and they can own that. If you
Hmm.
suppose there might be legitimate reasons to copy paste from someplace else, and it
Hmm.
provides a reason for the student to do that, as in the sense it provides a feel for the student to enter a reason, the reason why they're doing it, and that is available for the student and the faculty, and so everything becomes more transparent. So it is doing things at the back end, but it's also going
Right.
way beyond and providing
Right.
that extra feature for validation and transparency.
Right. I think it's constantly building that conscious efforts in everybody. So that's great. There's also another question here. So thank you for this approach. Do you have a LTD for your product? So Piyush, would you like to take that?
I don't know what is an LTD.
What is an LTD? It's a limited. It's like I don't know what the full form of LTD.
I
So
I'm
Uh,
expecting it to be lifetime deal. Okay, fine. The
yeah,
answer, yeah.
yeah.
It's somebody has clarified that it's a lifetime deal. I hope that it is that.
okay. So we have our yearly plans, that you can set up for the auto renewal. So that way, you can have the lifetime plan. But as such, we don't have any lifetime plan. But we have other business models that we can discuss.
Right.
Great, thanks.
Wonderful. We also have a couple of questions which say, how do current AI detectors differentiate between human writing and AI generated content, and how reliable are they? Because it's been a huge rat race, cat and mouse race, where you're always into AI detection. So, do you have anything specific to add on there?
Well, I went through that. Basically, it looks at the chances of a sequence of words and the variations in terms of consistency of verbs and, oh, sorry, words as well as sentences and phrases. That is
Right,
basically and if the percentage is that it is too sort of, I guess, robotic in the sense that it is too consistent,
right.
it is likely. So that is a basic principle of AI content detector. I think this is what the question was, right, Parvati?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I
Right.
also want to add one thing, the second part to your question, how reliable they are.
Mm, mm,
They are
Exactly.
they
Yeah.
are not reliable because they are
Right.
not accurate.
Right.
Because as Dr. KK mentioned, they try to identify the patterns, you know, in the text, and those
Hmm.
patterns can be, human generated. Text also have same pattern, so they are not
Right.
reliable, and that is the core reason we have developed
Right.
the DocuMark, because
yeah.
they are not reliable, you
Yeah.
know.
And to add to it, these days, at least for the last couple of years, it's very easy to make an AI generated text to not sound like an AI generated text by
Oh,
using AI itself. So it's as
yeah.
simple as that. So,
It's like
Humanize the
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
AI.
yeah,
AI
yeah.
content. Yeah, that's very true, unfortunately. So there's one last question. So people are asking, can DocuMark provide cumulative reports over time to monitor a student's writing development or repeated patterns of AI misuse or the trends in which they have been using AI over a period of time? Can DocuMark do that?
It can do that. Since we are building this technology, it has, we have launched this in last 2 months. So we are taking all the feedback. So we'll take this feedback also, and we can do that. So we have data points to churn out this analytics as well. So yeah, we can do that.
Great. I said one last question, but we can maybe end the webinar with this one. So, how customizable is DocuMark for institutional policy needs? For example, different institutes have different thresholds of AI use, that's permitted for different departments. So how can it easily integrate with it? How customizable it is, basically.
So it is highly customizable. So I'll answer both the question: integration, touch point, and customizable. How customizable it is. So first, customizable part. So for, let's say, your organization policy says that if anything, in any document, if there is more than 50% AI generated text, and more than 40% copy pasted text, then send that back to a student. So as you saw that in the analytics, that these data points are available. On top of that, you know uh, uh, we can add your um, custom data point. Let's say your organization says X and Y, so that can be customized for you, and on top of that you can build your workflow. And for other thing, for verification categories also, like auto verified, manually verified, or unverified categories also, if you have set a certain threshold at your organization, that also can be customized for you, and can be automated within your workflow. So it's very very customizable at that in that sense. Second part is integration part.
Right.
So it can be integrated with LMSs. We are working to integrate DocuMark with leading LMSs such as Moodle, Canvas, and so on. So it will be available, within your own learning management systems, so that you student need not to go to third party or any other platform to write the assignment. Everything can be done on a single platform.
Right. Thank you so much, Piyush and Dr. KK. That concludes our webinar. AI content detectors aren't enough, promoting student ownership and reducing faculty stress. We sincerely hope that you found today's session informative and insightful. And more than that, we hope that you're excited to check DocuMark and its exciting features out. I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to our distinguished speakers who have patiently answered every single question that we got our way. Thanks to Dr. Krishna Kumar Venkatachalam, aka Dr. KK, and Piyush Agarwal for sharing their expertise with us today. We'd also like to thank each and every one of you for joining us. Your participation and engagement have truly made this webinar a success. Before you leave, we have a quick request. You will see a short feedback survey that will appear on your screen as soon as you leave the session. We'd really appreciate it if you could take a few moments to fill that out. It really helps us shape future sessions around what matters most to you. Remember, the learning doesn't end here. Join us again for another enlightening session where we continue to explore the evolving role of AI in the academic journey. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and take care. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Parvati, for hosting the
Yeah.
session.
Thank you
Bye,
so
everyone.
much, everyone. Thank you. Bye.